Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Ice Barrier Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for May 2025. Wanted to update the Ice Barrier deck. It's definitely a fun Synchro deck from the Hidden Arsenal storyline. A couple changes since the last update. We did have the ban of Bahamut with the previous ban list, so with it, I had to change that out of the deck. But other than that, the biggest thing that has changed from the deck are just some of the numbers for different cards that I run in the deck. For the total numbers of different Ice Barrier cards, some of the hand trap choices as well in the deck, and then also some of the extra deck slots as well, and some additional cards that got released in Rage of the Abyss that were added into the deck also. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Ice Barrier monsters, we're running 3 copies of Revealer of the Ice Barrier. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot tribute summon. You can only use each of the following effects of Revealer of the Ice Barrier once per turn. You can discard 1 card, special summon 1 Ice Barrier tuner from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the rest of the turn, except water monsters. If you would discard or send a card from your hand to the graveyard to activate an Ice Barrier monster effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead of one of those cards. So you just have this added option, along with the discard and special summon for your different Ice Barrier monsters to set up your synchro plays, being able to easily grab your tuner monsters while potentially also setting up other cards in the graveyard as well. We're also running 3 copies of Yugioh, Swordsman of the Ice Barrier. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters in the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Yugioh of the Ice Barrier once per turn. If you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If it's normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 level 5 or lower Ice Barrier monster from your hand or graveyard. So this card works with setting up the monster we also set up in the graveyard with Revealer of the Ice Barrier, being able to have this card be able to then set up the special summon of an Ice Barrier tuner from our deck, which Yugioh is also a tuner monster. So after this card hits the field with Revealer of the Ice Barrier, you can use the effect to then summon back the monster you discarded off of your Revealer thanks to this card to give you more and more monsters on the field to use. So some of our bigger monsters being some of the easier to be able to summon out thanks to this card also. And then for the other Ice Barrier cards, 2 copies of Speaker for the Ice Barrier. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, defense monsters your opponent control cannot change their battle position. You can only use the following effects of Speaker once per turn. If you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon an Ice Barrier token from the with that token being the level 1, 0 attack and 0 defense. Having Ice Barrier tokens as that resource to use is another big help just for the level 1 option to adjust our synchro plays depending on what we want to summon out as well. 2 additional tuners being Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. With this tuner, you can tribute 1 other effect monster, special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens onto the field, and then increase this card's level by that number. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except water synchro monsters. And if this card's sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 of your Ice Barrier cards that is banished or in your deck to your hand, except for Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. You can only use this effect of Mirror Mage once per turn. So more tokens special summon, as mentioned before, with this card being able to tribute another effect monster, summoning out those tokens, and then also increasing this card's level by that number. So this can adjust to the tokens as well, giving us the needed option for some of our bigger synchro plays as well, like our Trishula needing 2 or more non-tuner monsters to summon out. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, being able to add an Ice Barrier card that is banished from our deck. So Surge Power for some of our other Ice Barrier cards that can then be used to special summon more resources back onto the field. Lastly, for the 2 copies of Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier. While you control another Ice Barrier monster, monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense during your main phase. You can send 1 level 3 or lower Ice Barrier from your deck to the graveyard, and then this card's level becomes the same as that monster's to the end of this turn. So this card could also potentially be another, tuner that you summon off of Revealer, then being able to use this card to send Mirror Mage to then grab an additional search, which we'll go over more of those plays at the end of the video, with our 1-ofs for our Ice Barriers being 1 General Raiho and the 1 Spellbreaker of the Ice Barrier. Once per turn, you can send 1 Ice Barrier monster from your hand to the graveyard. Neither player can activate spell cards till the end of your next turn, kind of freezing out those spell cards thanks to this card. With General Raiho, when an effect resolves that was activated by an effect monster that was on your opponent's side of the field, they must discard 1 card or that effect is negated. So you can eat away at your opponent's hand once you set up your General Raiho on the field, all the more quicker for you to use against your opponent. Definitely one of the better cards to use for that lockdown strategy. And then we're also running 3 copies of Area, the Water Chandler. You can discard this card and one other water monster to add 1 water monster from your deck to your hand with an equal or higher level than the other discarded monster. Also, you cannot activate non-water monster effects for the rest of this turn. When your water monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. So you use Area just as a better search, being able to add a monster with a higher level than the other discard monsters. So with a varying level of different ice barriers, you can have a good search depending on what you discarded off of your Area for this search, and then also just setting up more cards in your graveyard to summon back off of some of the other cards we run in the deck also. And then for the rest of the main deck monsters, we just have our hand trap lineup. For the monsters being 3 Fualos, the 3 Droll and Lockbird, and then the 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. You can start off a lot of your combos with just a couple Ice Barrier cards. So for the more competitive basis, you definitely want to have a good chunk of cards in the deck, just being the hand trap slots to use. And then for the spells, we're running 3 copies of Medallion of the Ice Barrier. You can add 1 Ice Barrier monster from your deck to your hand. It's not a once per turn, so if you have multiples of this card, you can grab the specific Ice Barrier cards you need for that specific combo you want to go for. And our go-to spell for special summoning in the back being our Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier. When this card's activated, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monster in your graveyard, special summon it while you control 3 or more Ice Barrier monsters. Ice Barrier monsters you control are unaffected by the activated effects of your opponent's monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. So this could be the card that you get after sending your Mirror Mage to the graveyard with cards like your go-to setup of your Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier, then being able to summon this card back for that play to grab your Mirror Mage back onto the field. The 1 copy of Winds over the Ice Barrier. Attribute any number of Ice Barrier monsters, special summon from your deck that many level 4 or lower Ice Barrier monsters with different names from each other. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 of your other Ice Barrier monsters that is banished in your graveyard, and add to your hand. So add back power, just a 1 of text since it does have Ice Barrier in the name, so it can be searched off of the Mirror Mage play as well. With our other spells being the 1 Pot of Prosperity, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, the 1 Call by the Grave, and then the 1 Crossout Designator. For the traps, we're running 1 Frozen Domain of the Ice Barrier. This is a newer trap that came out during the Terminal Revenge booster set. So after I did my last update for the Ice Barrier deck, your opponent can activate card effects in response to the activation of your Ice Barrier monster effects. If a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, except during the damage step, you return to the hand or shuffle into the deck 1 Ice Barrier monster you control. Then you can place 1 card from the field or either graveyard onto the bottom of the deck. You can only use this effect of Frozen Domain once per turn, and once per turn during the end phase, reveal 3 Ice Barrier monsters with different names in your extra deck, or destroy this card, which can easily be done as well since we have a good number of different Ice Barrier monsters, but just a good way to have an answer to your opponent's monsters on the field by being able to return that card to the deck thanks to your Ice Barrier monsters. And then the last of the traps just being 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, along with the Fualos, Ash Blossom, and the Drone Lockbirds, just good lockdown and shutdown cards to run alongside the Ice Barrier cards. For the extra deck, we run 1 copy of Lancia, Ancestral Dragon of the Ice Mountain. While not an Ice Barrier monster, it is a water monster that can easily be summoned out with this deck. And then just being able to have more special summon options for our Ice Barrier monsters from our hand, deck, extra deck, or graveyard to then use as those additional resources. The 1 Trishula Zero as another bigger dragon banish option that can also go into our original Trishula Dragon. The 1 Bryonic, the Magical Ice Dragon, and the 1 original Bryonic as well. For more bounce back power for the discard play on the field also. The 1 Gungnir along with the 1 Deloran. As additional Ice Barrier monsters, the 1 Ice Jade Gamire Green, the 1 Adamancipator Risen, and then the 1 Ravenous Crocodile, Arches Ice, and the 1 Navy Dragon Mech, sticking to the full water theme for some of the restrictions for our other summons in the deck, with our Link monsters being the 1 Haggard Lizardos, the 1 SB Little Knight, the 1 Area Link monster, and then the 1 World's Atlantis to finish off the Link monster lineup as well. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, for some of our best setup, if we have cards like Hexa Spirit and Revealer in our hand, we can set up a good number of Synchro options on the field to go into. Medallion can search out any particular one you have. So if you open up one or the other, you can just use Medallion to search out that other card. Then using the summon of your Revealer, you can discard your Hexa Spirit to then summon out from your deck 1 Ice Barrier Tuner. So from there, you can summon out your Georgius onto the field, and then being able to use this card if you control an Ice Barrier monster, special summon this card from your your hand. And if it's normal or special summon, you special summon one level 5 or lower Ice Barrier from your hand or graveyard. So then you can summon back your Hexa Spirit to the field. And then while you control another Ice Barrier monster, you have the attack lowering of your opponent. During your main phase, you can send one level 3 or lower Ice Barrier monster from your deck to the graveyard. So then you can use this card to send your Mirror Mage. Mirror Mage will then activate to add one of your Ice Barrier cards that are banished in your deck, except for your Mirror Mage. Then you can use the play to add your Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier. This can then be used to summon back your Mirror Mage onto the field, tributing one other effect monster to special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens. So then you can tribute out your Hexa Spirit, grabbing you the 2 Ice Barrier tokens on the field. And from there, you have a full board of different monsters to use for the Synchro plays that you wish, and then increasing this card level. So your Mirror Mage is a level 4 tuner as well. You then have your level 6 tuner play there. You have the added option for your Georgius, Swordsman of the Ice Barrier, with your Revealer, or the added play to then go into your level 10 options in the extra deck as well. Then having that summon for your monster as well. You can use your Georgius being a level 6 and your Revealer to go into your Lancia, Ancestral Dragon, and then using the additional Mirror Mage on the field with your tokens to go into one of your other Synchro plays or varying plays as well. Having the special summon option with your Lancia Ancestral on the field to combat against your opponent's monster effects by special summoning out your own Ice Barrier monsters. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.